Auburn Blitz is now on the air, your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Friday edition of the Auburn Blitz. Brett Pritchard and Randy Lee here with you for your lunch hour, and we're glad that you're joining us out there wherever it is that you're joining us, either through social media or out there in TV land. We appreciate it so much. We appreciate our corporate partners, J. Smith Construction, Mortgage Pro there at McKinley Team, Big Fish Real Estate Group at Lake Martin, and Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores. Bring you this program every single day, Monday through Friday, and appreciate them very, very much. Randy, good to see you here on a Friday. The front moves through. The temperatures are dropping as we speak. They moved the first pitch time up to 4 today for Auburn, Indiana. A smart move on Auburn's part rather than starting that thing at 6 or 7 o'clock tonight, because tonight's going to drop into the mid-20s. I know I said that, the mid-20s. Maybe this will be the last spurt of this. Probably won't be, but hopefully maybe close to one of the last spurts of this, and then we'll start getting more consistent spring weather. But first pitch will be about 43 degrees at 4 o'clock. That's better than 20 for sure. But the wind's going to be blowing.
Well, it's a miserable weather for baseball. And, playing that sport and having a bat in your hand and having someone up there throwing 90-plus, and you've got to have quick reactions out there in that weather. It's tough, but, people do it all the time, man. It's like their emotions get to them, and they are able to amp themselves up and warm up. I've always thought about it in football. Right. How in the world do you get out there and hit one another, and it's in the 20s or it's snow out there on the field? But
they do it.
People somehow do it. And so looking forward to getting baseball started. Auburn picked next to last in the SEC West. If you finish middle of the pack, we said this a couple of weeks ago, finish middle of the pack, you're probably a College World Series contender. That's how good the SEC West is, Brett.
Yeah, SEC overall. I mean, this conference is sick. I mean, it's Coach Thompson was on the show yesterday. He talked about it. He said every weekend is a College World Series appearance.
Thoughts on his conversation yesterday for those of us that didn't tune in?
Absolutely great. I mean, he just again, we're fortunate to have a guy that is just as even keel. Coach Thompson's an even keel guy, and I think that translates into his game. And just such a really, really nice, likable guy. He talked about he signed 5 of the top 100 freshmen in the country in this last class and didn't lose any of them to the draft. And David said, that's amazing. I said, well, what it does is it speaks for him, because a lot of those guys have opportunity to go on and play Major League Baseball or get move into a farm system somewhere. But they said, in their mind, I'd rather go spend 3 years with Butch Thompson and have a better chance come time to get drafted again. It just tells you that they want his tutelage, especially pitchers. And he's just one of the most revered coaches in college baseball right now.
Well, here's the big thing also. I bet these coaches are starting to see some stats that weigh in favor of you going the SEC route rather than coming out as a top 10 round draft pick out of high school. We've had several here. One that I remember a couple of years ago that was a tremendous hitter in a neighboring community to us. And, all of us thought that, boy, he's got a super chance. He had a full ride to Alabama, and was going to be a great player wherever he ends up. And ends up having a 2 or 3 year stint in the minors, and I thought he swung it really well and he moved around. But, he's out of baseball now, and he's a great kid, and he'll end up doing, well in whatever he decides to do. So, but I would be willing to bet that if you went back and you asked him or his family, I don't want to put words in their mouth, but a lot of people would like to go the Alabama route. And, hey, David Jones sitting right beside you, I think David has said the same thing about his son, that if they had to relook at it, and David, don't let me put words in your mouth.
No,
That's
but
how I heard it.
He was committed to Auburn.
Committed to Auburn, and it may be a good decision to go there and get tutelage, enjoy your college experience, get an education. And if you're good enough to perform at the SEC level, then you're good enough to probably have a chance to make it up to the big leagues. Really tough, but I bet the stats are weighing in favor of those that are deciding that. What do you
Yeah, and I think it also has a lot to do with who's coaching that particular team. And this conference has some of the best coaches in the country too. So look at what Tennessee's doing right now. LSU is supposed to have maybe on paper one of the best teams they've ever put on the field in program history.
That's saying something.
They're one. They're preseason number one in the West. You know, I was on Gary Harris's show this morning like I am every Friday, and, you know, I went down the list, and the last team we mentioned was Texas A&M, and I said, Gary, we went through all these teams in the West, and I said, we almost forgot Texas A&M. By the way, they won the West last year. That's how good this conference is. And so, but anyway, going to be getting off to a start today. Baseball officially starting today around college baseball, and Auburn will have a 3-game set with Indiana. Indiana thought they were coming down here to get away from this crap, didn't they? They bring the 28 degrees with them, so they don't get a break from it either. But at least we're not shoveling snow down here. Auburn will have AHSAA, I believe it's AHSAA starting today. AHSAA starting today, and then Joseph Gonzalez starting tomorrow. He flipped them. Coach Thompson talked about that. The pitching rotation kind of got off a little bit on some rest things, and he's going to push Joseph Gonzalez to tomorrow's start instead of today. But we'll have Chase Alsop, a sophomore, on the mound, and then we'll be starting a left-handed freshman, Drew Nelson, on Sunday. And so that should be exciting. Let's get down to business here. Auburn basketball. We'll have Jason Caldwell on at the 12:36 mark here on the program, as we do most Fridays, so you'll look forward to that. We have SEC schedules for all teams, the remaining games. Randy, you and I will be able to go through these here today and kind of look and see where we think maybe everybody's going to finish coming down the stretch, or what the possibilities could be. But Auburn improves to 18-8 with that win over Missouri. That's a quad 2 win. It was a quality win. This was a 19-6 Missouri team that was really playing good basketball. I got to go on the road, take on a 14-12 Vanderbilt team. It doesn't look good on paper as far as record for Vandy, but you go into Memorial Coliseum, it's a tough place.
I'm looking forward to it. We're heading over to Nashville tonight. I'm actually leaving out directly after this show, and we're going to the ball game tomorrow night. And
should be fun.
Should be a fun game, and I wouldn't call it a must-win, but it's closing in on must-wins. And we said that –
I think it is coming down the stretch. And what Auburn's got left, I think they got to win it.
We said that against Missouri, and you and I looked down while we were broadcasting a basketball game the other night. We were up like 42-18, and, you know, we didn't get an opportunity to watch the game. But when you're playing like that and you're scoring the basketball like that, you got to like Auburn's chances. So Vandy and their home Coliseum is going to be a tough environment, a tough place to play. This is not a bad Vandy team. You look overall, their record's 14-12, but they're 7-6 in the conference.
That's right.
If you win half of your SEC basketball games, you got a pretty darn good team. I mean, you're competitive to do that. It's kind of like baseball. Mm-hmm. Look down at Auburn's baseball record year in and year out, and if you have a plus 500 mark in league play, you consider that a good season. You and I have talked about that a number of times a few years ago before Butch Thompson. We went back through that, and I remember since Hal Barrett, Auburn had only had 4 winning seasons in SEC baseball leading into this Butch Thompson run the last few years. So Vandy at 7-6, it's not like you're looking at a team that's only won a couple of SEC games. So I hope we play well. We shot it well the other night. The shooting stats all went up.
Right.
Auburn, I think, was shooting 41% from the field, now 43%, almost 44% after the game the other night. So that's when Auburn's got the stat in its favor in the shooting percentage, right. I think it's the first time I've said that this year.
Yeah, you know, it's just so tough to get wins on the road. Yeah. And you know, you saw Alabama drop their first game against Tennessee. And, you know, everybody kind of felt like Alabama the road game at Auburn, and then following that up with a road game against Tennessee, maybe a little bit too much to bear. And they felt good if they were able to just get through that with a split, and they were able to do that. So, yeah, you anticipate going on the road, you're going to get a team's best shot. You're going to have their crowd in it. I think Jared Stackhouse has done a really good job coming off of last year. That they had, you know, this program has been in the dumps for a little while, and, you know, they lose Scottie Pippen Jr. It was a tremendous player for them, and they're doing all this without him. Again, overall record not very good, but only one game better for Auburn than Vanderbilt in conference play. Auburn 8-5 and Vanderbilt 7-6, and so it's going to take a big effort. Then you got Ole Miss at home coming up next week, and then you got the trifecta coming down the stretch. You got to go on the road to Rupp Arena, and then you got to go over to Tuscaloosa, and then you finish at home with Tennessee. So Missouri, we knew this was the stretch. Auburn having Missouri, and then Vanderbilt, and now Ole Miss. You got to make hay right here.
Got to take advantage of it, and from an offensive standpoint, this is a game that Auburn matches up well. When you look at the stats, Auburn shooting 44% from the field, Vandy 42%. Auburn right at 30% from the three-point arc. Vandy's at 33%. Free throw percentage there is equal, 70 for Auburn, 71 for Vandy. Points scored, Auburn's got 72, Vandy with 71 points per game. The next stat, I think, is the big stat, though, here. Can Auburn play defensively like we have a number of times in the last 5 or 6 games? Auburn only giving up 64.7 points per game. Vandy giving up right at 72. So defensively, especially down in the post, Vandy's got a big guy in Liam Robbins, 7-foot, 250-pounder, leads this team in scoring with 14.7 points per game and right at 7 rebounds. So Janai Broome down in the post, does he bring his A-game playing defense will be a key.
Bruce Pearl changed it up against Missouri. We'll talk about that when we come back. And, again, Missouri had a huge advantage on Auburn on paper, and you and I both talked about it, and it did not play out that way on Tuesday night. We'll talk about that when we come back. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz coming your way right after this.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
SCAG, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that SCAG means productivity and reliability. Every SCAG mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. SCAG.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz here on this Friday. We'll take your calls, we'll take your comments, and we'll go to the phone lines for the first time today. Welcome in, James. James, what's up, man? What's up, brother?
Well, I was real pleased with our victory over Missouri the other night. That made me feel pretty good. Maybe dragged some of that, maybe gave them a dose of salt or something. But anyway, they played pretty good ball, especially defensively. And I was glad to see that. And you know, he can get them started now. I think up the hill there, maybe over it. Let's see what he can do. But I was just looking at some of these new guys they've gotten from the new coaching staff and everything. I tell you what, you know, you start seeing how many games they started in, and this and that and the other, and how big they are, and what their their position is, and what their what their status is, and this, that, and the other. I think we've got a pretty good class coming in here. It may not be the shiniest or the brightest, but who gives a damn if we beat 9 or 10 people next year? It'll be so shiny nobody can see it, you know. So
hey, winning cures all, James. We know that, and I'm with you. I mean, I think Auburn's got a lot of guys that they're going to be able to work with. I think this coaching staff, it's going to be an entirely different look. Save Cornell and Zach and those guys that stayed behind. Thank goodness we got those guys that are a nucleus for the. But Coach Freeze bringing in his guys. He's talking about him personally coaching that quarterback room extremely hard. I'm looking forward to spring. I think everybody is. I think we're just ready to get past the vomit that we had to deal with the last two years.
Yeah, that general. Anyway, one other thing I was going to mention to you. That baseball on this afternoon, man. Good luck, guys. I found me something that I could put in a little, about a quart bottle, and get over there as far away from everybody else as I could before I froze to death, and then I'd have all kind of fun. But that's tough playing baseball like that. I mean, that'd be like playing in Boise, Idaho, since we were talking about the Harson. It's probably about the same temperature up there today. Well, they probably with shorts on up there this time of the year. Who knows?
Yeah, it's set your watch to it. When baseball rolls around, you can just bank on about 25, 30 degrees.
Yeah, here you go. Well, listen, Andy, you doing all right?
Andy's not here. It's Randy.
Randy, that's who I meant.
I'm doing was Andy. He'd be doing a lot better job than what I'm doing up here. But, yeah, I'm glad to be here, James.
Maybe old Andy will get well and get back to work.
We hope so.
You better.
That's right.
All right. Well, listen, you guys have a good day. It's good to talk with you. I hadn't talked to you in a week or so, and I just want to let you know I haven't got to run off.
Well, good to hear from you as always, buddy. Thank you, James.
Yes, sir.
All right. Bye-bye. And, again, you can call us, 256-234-6221, 256-234-6221 to be on the program. I want to go back and talk about what Bruce Pearl did against Missouri. You and I looked at on paper, and we were concerned about the height and the size advantage for Missouri. It was not a good matchup on paper. Missouri was playing really good basketball. Auburn has been struggling the last couple of weeks. Had lost 4 or 5.
To at least score the ball.
To score ball.
Yeah.
They had lost 4 or 5, so that's where I'm going with. Missouri comes in, Bruce Pearl mixes it up. He puts Janai Broome and Dylan Cardwell on the floor at the same time, and they get a lot of minutes together. It made a big difference. It shut Missouri's inside game down, forced them to have to shoot outside. They weren't hitting their open shots. Auburn was. KD Johnson blitzed them right out of the gate, was 4 for 4, his first 4 3-pointers. And that's what you get with KD. Sometimes he comes out lightning in a bottle, and, you know, Janai Broome was getting good looks inside. Auburn created some breaks on transition. All of a sudden, you look up, it was 30 to 8, and the game was pretty much over at that point. So, hey, look, will we see that combination again? It really spurred this team. Maybe they found something with those two on the floor at the same time.
Well, I know that in the college game you can get a 4 and they can play a 5 at times, but there's
he's got to have help.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind Janai Broome's a 4.
Oh,
you know, he's not. He does have the frame. He's 6'10", and he's got the frame and the build.
But
to
he
be,
is a 4.
But he doesn't play well above the rim. He doesn't have that dynamic leaping ability that it would take to be like a Walker Kessler.
Right.
I know Walker Kessler is longer than Janai, but he's also a lot more nimble and athletic than Janai.
And I think Dylan Cardwell.
I think Dylan Cardwell's, you know, he's got the opportunity to do the same thing that you saw with Walker Kessler. So it allows Janai to play the 4, and it also gives him the opportunity to not have to necessarily play down in the post and still have a post presence on the offensive end, because Janai, he's not a 3-point shooter, but he's a 12 to 14-foot shooter.
Right.
And he's also a pretty good ball handler, and he's got that big frame that he can take the ball at the free throw line.
Right.
And he can create and make plays for others down the lane, and you still have a presence under the basket. Right. So love the change. You know, the people that you're pulling, I'm sorry, I love Zep Jasper. He plays pretty good defensively, gives you nothing offense.
I think you gain a lot putting Cardwell in for Zep Jasper.
I kind of do too. You know, I think you still – Wendell Green plays hard on the defensive end.
Right.
He's not a liability when it comes to the defensive side. And, you know, the guys –
KD is going to give you more offense when he is hitting shots. Yeah. So I'm going to give him the nod over Zep there. So, I mean, you got – if you go with Wendell and KD – you put Flanagan on the floor, and then you go with Dylan Cardwell and Janai Broome. I kind of like that lineup.
I like that lineup, and then I like the ones that you're bringing off the bench, because you got Jalen Williams that you can bring off the bench.
Absolutely.
And he really can play 3 through 5. I like him at the 3.
Right.
You know, he shoots the ball well from the perimeter as anybody that we have, and he can defend fairly well against, you know, not a really athletic 3, but a 3 or a 4. So gives you some change-ups that we've been needing, and I hope that moving forward we'll see a little bit more of it, and I bet we do.
Jalen not a great – you know, that's the lineup he's been going with. You know, he's had Janai Broome and Jalen Williams inside, and they're both passive. I mean, I hate to be that way.
I agree. I don't think that you're saying anything.
Yeah.
We love both of those guys. We think that by them doing that, they bring a lot more on the offensive end than we've seen in years past. But if you put a bulldog in there like Dylan Cardwell and allow him to play the 5, it changes the team. So great move by Bruce.
And I think it may see that more tomorrow night against Vanderbilt. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
High school championship basketball is bouncing its way to the Legacy Arena in Birmingham, and so is WOTM, your AHSAA TV network. Starting February 27th, catch all of the exciting semifinals live as they happen. Every dunk, every three-pointer, every steal. It's boys and girls high school basketball every day, live on the AHSAA TV network.
They're playing basketball.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Country Clipper zero-turn mowers are designed for comfort, accessibility, and ease of use. Only Country Clipper offers your choice of steering options with industry-exclusive joystick steering or twin lever steering. Their patented stand-up deck, standard on every model, allows for quick access to the underside of the deck for routine maintenance. With a wide front step and optional handrail, getting on or off your mower has never been easier. Stop by Fun Carts of Opelika today for a test drive. Country Clipper mowers, designed for you. Fun Carts of Opelika, located at 618 Lee Road, 113 in Opelika, Alabama.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
No monthly payments for 120 days at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. Check out the powerful new Chevrolet Silverado 4-wheel drive crew cabs, discounted up to $7,500 off. The midsize Chevrolet Malibus up to $5,250 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the ground or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz here. Halfway through the show, I gotta bring up, because we laugh and talk about these reels on social media a lot. Look, I know we all get upset when our team loses, but it's funny for all of us. It wouldn't be funny if we were in a room, but some of these people, the pro especially, when in the Super Bowl, you just wait on it now. These people destroy TV, destroy whatever because their team loses. It is unbelievable what a rampage some people. They clean a room out. Guy makes a field goal. I remember last year, a team lost in the playoffs. This guy in the bedroom, his wife walked in. He slung it through the daggum window, and it went outside. And then this guy, this Philadelphia Phillies fan, Eagles fan, just threw a bottle, broke the thing, threw it off, about fought everybody in the room. People go nuts, man.
You ever cared that much?
Not to that point. Not to destroy the TV. I mean, it's really, I mean, I know everybody knows what we're talking about. Go out there and look at it, but you just almost expect it. I mean, it happens hey, there's memes of Alabama and Auburn fans after the Iron Bowl.
Sure.
Right at the end, lose on the last play, destroy.
Grown men sitting up there in the bleachers
and
crying.
I've never understood, nothing gets back at the team that beats you like going out and destroying your own city. I mean, you know, that's like you're mad at your neighbor, so you burn your stuff down. That don't make any sense.
Didn't
man.
I hear that someone had flipped a car over in Philadelphia before the game?
Before the game started.
And set it ablaze.
I guess they're getting a head start. I mean, it is mind-blowing. Like, literally, okay, your team lost. Hey, guys, I got an idea. Let's go out there and tear all our lampposts down on our street. Does that sound fun to you? Let's go do it. I mean, it's not like they drove to, Kansas City and tore their stuff up. They tore their own stuff up. So, I mean, it's like, I'm telling you, man, it makes no sense whatsoever. Burning cars, throwing bricks through windows. I mean
going and looting, that makes sense.
Yeah, let's go.
I get that, though.
Yeah, let's go steal.
I'm not saying I want to do it. I'm not saying that I condone it, but I understand why if a jewelry store, if the windows get busted in.
The people going to go in there and say,
people going to go in there and say, well, I mean, I thought it was just time to go in there and grab all of it. I mean, because nobody's really thinking clearly at that point anyways. So I understand that, but flipping a car over and setting it ablaze.
I'm telling you, man. Dadgum World Cup. I mean, they had to airlift them out. Argentina, they had to airlift players out of the parade by helicopter. People going nuts. Your country just won the thing. Can we all just get together and celebrate? I mean, okay, I get you're upset that you lost, but let's just not burn the city down because you got a chance next year.
You're acting as if people are sane.
Well, that was mistake one.
Yes.
So, all right, we'll move on from that. I just had to kind of elaborate on that a little bit. I'm sorry, I digressed on all of that. So, all right, SEC schedule's coming up. We'll have Jason Caldwell up in the next segment, so looking forward to having Jason on here. Randy, let's look at Alabama. They're the only team with one loss, and let's look at Texas A&M. They're 1-2 in the league. Can Texas A&M make it to that last game at home against Alabama with just 2 losses? Alabama's got 1. A&M's got 2. Let's start with A&M. A&M's got to go to Missouri this weekend, so that's going to be tough. Missouri at home, they're still a 19-win team. Then they get Tennessee at home. That's going to be a major hurdle. But winnable. Both are winnable. At Mississippi State just had a 6-game winning streak snapped by Kentucky at Mississippi State, and it took right to the end for Kentucky to win that game. That's a semi-tough game. They should win at Ole Miss. So would you think that Texas A&M win these next 4 games to get to that Alabama game with just 2 losses?
If they play well. I think they're better than all 4, and I think the matchups are where you want them. If they were on the road at Tennessee, I would say that'd be a problem.
A lean to
because
them. Yep.
if you watched Alabama play Tennessee, which I did on Saturday, man, they defended them so well.
They sure did.
They defended them outside of the 3-point arc, and the only way you're going to slow Brandon Miller down is to get a body up in him, and because he's not really he's a Jabari Smith. He's not a great creator. I'm not taking anything away. I think he's a top 3 draft pick, same as Jabari. But if you're having to pick the way that you're going to slow someone like that down, you've got to make them create off the dribble. And Tennessee made him create off the dribble, and he was passive with the basketball the majority of the time. And Jabari went through stretches last year where he was the same, wouldn't he?
Absolutely. I remember it vividly. He went in a slump and was struggling, and it just happens. I mean, it didn't take away from those guys' skills. It just teams.
Well, we're talking about maybe the 2 best players Auburn and Alabama's ever had. But
that's right. But it shows you that people can take them out.
They can in Tennessee. Did you watch much of that?
I watched the whole game.
Gosh, they got after them defensively.
In their face. Nate Oates talked about it. Oklahoma and Tennessee did the same thing. They were physical with Alabama's guards, and they didn't react well to it. And he said it. He said, look, if anybody wants the blueprint on how to defend us, we've shown it to them. We're not handling physical guard play well. The thing about Nate Oates and Bruce Pearl, they don't sugarcoat anything about
they
their
don't.
team. They go out there and say, look, man, you know, our guys got bullied. You know, we got to learn to play a little bit more physical. You know, if we're not going to step up, that's going to happen again. So, you know, issuing a challenge there. But let's look at Alabama's schedule. They got Georgia at home, shouldn't be a problem. We got to go to South Carolina. They're terrible. All right, you got Arkansas at home. If I were in Fayetteville, I'd say it'd be a little bit sketchy. I think he'll take care of Arkansas at home. Then they've got Auburn. What will Auburn be looking like going into Tuscaloosa? Now, again, it's going to be a tough matchup, but it is a rivalry game. Potentially coming off a win for the first time in Rupp Arena since the 80s. Could be a confidence boost for Auburn going into Alabama that next week. But I would say Alabama gets it done. So, I mean, I'm looking at Alabama heading into A&M with just one loss. I mean, if Texas A&M can navigate their part of the schedule, that game will be for the conference title.
It's two tough home games, though. Arkansas is a team that can beat Alabama, and Auburn's a team that can beat Alabama at home. Do I expect either to do it? No, but
can.
I think both have a 25% chance.
Mississippi State came very close to beating Alabama at home. So, you know, now Alabama has torched 2 or 3 opponents in there. Vanderbilt and LSU, they did not just get their doors blown off. They got the hood.
Yeah, if you don't match them well, and you don't have the ability to man up and be physical with their guards out on the perimeter with tough guards like Allen Flanagan, who I don't know what Brandon Miller ended up with, but I know that we kept him to 8. If you keep him to 15 in a close basketball game that he plays a majority of the minutes, oh my gosh, he'll take that every day.
No doubt. Up against the break, we come back. Jason Caldwell with Inside the Auburn Tigers. Stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
L&G Ad Agency is the go-to vendor for all your digital and print marketing needs. We have in-house production for all projects, including graphic design, web design, social media marketing, videography, and print marketing. Our video production is up to industry standard with modern 4K cameras and drone capabilities. We pride ourselves in client-committed relationships, and every project is personalized to your needs. Visit lmgadagency.com for a free quote today. Let us tell your story.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama. Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
WAXC TV3's Basketball Game of the Week is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet Buick GMC on the Columbus Parkway in Opelika. Get ready to smile. Catch game replays on WAXC TV3 and on our Roku app. Games replay Monday and Friday at 8 p.m. and also Saturday and Sunday at 6:30. Catch the replays of these games airing now from Glenn Smith Chevrolet Buick GMC in Opelika and WAXC TV3.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Brett and Randy here for a couple more segments. Let's go to the phone line. Welcome in our good friend Jason Caldwell with Inside the Auburn Tigers. Happy Friday to you, Jason.
Hey, guys. How are y'all?
Man, we're great. Right on cue, man. Baseball season's here. Going to be about 25 degrees tonight, but they did bump the time up to 4 o'clock. That helped.
Never fails. It never fails. 45 with about a 15-mile-an-hour wind. And so, what it really does is it impacts you from a pitching standpoint. And early in the year, they're not going to go deep with guys anyway. So I would expect to see a whole lot of arms this weekend for Auburn. I mean, there may be 10 or 12 different guys that throw innings this weekend. And so, but it's baseball time. At least the sun's shining, and we missed severe weather. So that's a positive.
That's right. Well, had Coach Thompson on yesterday, Jason, and, he talked about this team a little bit like you did the week before. And he said, I thought something that was interesting. He said, look, on paper, we got a ton of talent, maybe one of the more talented teams, but he said you just don't know about a team until you get out there and you go against an opponent. And I think he's right. I think even though the weather, ready to go play somebody else other than themselves.
Yeah, no, I said, somebody asked me in my mailbag today at Auburn Undercover, somebody asked me about this team. I said, look, I think from 1 to 35, I think this is the most talented roster that I've covered in 24 years.
Wow.
Now, does that translate to being successful? We were just talking about in the break. In basketball, you got to make shots. Well, in baseball, you got to make clutch pitches and have clutch hits. And just talent doesn't always equal that. Sometimes it's competitive fire. Sometimes it's, hey, the other guy's just better than you. And that's very possible in this league, in the Southeastern Conference. You play a bunch of teams that are really good. But I think from just a straight-up talent standpoint, I mean, they're going to throw – I mean, Auburn's going to have 10, 12 guys that are low to mid-90s that have stuff. But a lot of those guys are young, haven't pitched very much at this level or any at all. And so how quickly can they get there? I mean, we talked about Ole Miss. Ole Miss won the national championship last year and were the last team in the field. But they developed throughout the year, finally got their pitching right, second half of the SEC schedule, and went on a tear and won a national championship. This team's got the potential to do something like that, but it doesn't happen very often. So I think you look at it from a just straight-up arms and talent standpoint, this roster's going to be really good, but how quickly does that pitching develop will ultimately tell the tale.
Jason, talk about two of the starters that we'll have this weekend. Most of us know about Joseph Gonzalez and what he brings to the table for Auburn, but Chase Alsop and Drew Nelson, talk about both of those guys and your expectations on them.
Yeah, Chase Alsop is a guy that has Friday night stuff. He's going to be 94 to 97. Power right-hander, 6'1", 235 or so. Got good off-speed stuff. How can he set those things? You hear Butch Thompson talk about all the time. Can he set the breaking ball? Can he throw those pitches for strikes? Because if you're not, this Indiana team that comes in, they got, I think, their top 7 hitters back. One guy had 19 home runs, one 18, had 2 freshman All-Americans a year ago. They couldn't pitch it very good, but they can swing the bat. So that's going to be a challenge. But Chase has the stuff. can he do that and throw strikes? And he's a power guy. So power arm, going to be coming at guys. And then Drew Nelson is going to be the opposite kind of guy. He's not necessarily a crafty lefty, but he can throw it, low 90s, but really good breaking ball. He pitched at Pike Lib in Troy in AHSAA and won 4 state championships. He was actually Alabama's, Gatorade Player of the Year last year in baseball. And so this is a guy that will remind people of Jack Owen that pitched a few years ago. And for those of us that go a little bit further back than that, Hayden Galimo. Hayden Galimo was the guy that pitched and played the outfield. Drew Nelson's going to swing the bat too, so he might be in the mix to hit, but just a guy that he's a pitcher and not a thrower. And so it's going to be interesting to see how he kind of goes up against a really veteran lineup right out of the gate.
Jason, I want to shift over before we let you go, talk a little bit about Auburn basketball. Coming down the stretch here, a big win against Missouri, just dominated them at home, but you turn your focus now to a road game against a Vanderbilt team that's not bad in conference play. They're 7-6, just one game better for Auburn at 8-5. Talk about Saturday's matchup.
Yeah, really, almost an identical matchup for me, in that it's a team that doesn't play very good defense but can really score. And that was the same thing with Missouri. The difference is Vandy has a big man that'll step out and shoot threes. He's an NBA player, so that's going to be a challenge for Auburn defensively against a guy like that. But for Auburn, we just talked about it, make a shot. If you make a shot, then this is an Auburn team that can compete with anybody. If you get, we saw it last week, K.D. Johnson scores 14 in the first half, finishes with 15. Al Flanagan had 16. You get 30-plus points out of those two guys in addition to what you're getting from Broome and Jalen Williams, then this is an Auburn team that can compete. If you get, nothing out of those guys and you're struggling to make shots, we saw it. Wendell Green did not have to force the issue against Missouri. He was able to play point guard, and because the other guys were making shots, and that's the ideal recipe for this team. They've been defending really well, and actually offensively they played pretty well. They played pretty good at Texas A&M, played pretty good against Alabama. They continue to play that way. You look at it, I think they need 2 more wins. You got Ole Miss at home next week. One of these ones against Vandy, Kentucky, Alabama, Tennessee, I think 10-8 gets you in the tournament, but you want to do more than that. And so you win a few more games, and it improves your seeding dramatically.
Yeah, I'd love to be playing best basketball of the year and carrying some momentum. I know we've got 3 quad 1 chances at the end with Kentucky, Alabama, and Tennessee. So some good opportunity there left ahead for Auburn on basketball. Well, Jason, as always, appreciate you being on the show with us on Fridays. Get you a blanket, brother, on the baseball game tonight. Stay warm.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. That's Jason Caldwell with Inside the Auburn Tigers, a regular guest here on Fridays with us on the Auburn Blitz. Up against the break, one final segment coming your way right after this.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world. of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
OGS Tournaments. Russell Marine and State Farm agent Aaron Warren present Crank for Bank 2023, April 1st through July 4th. Win over $1.5 million in cash and prizes. Over 200 tag bass and 50 tag crappie are waiting on you. All ages are welcome. Fish from the dock, boat, or shores of Lake Martin. Get registered now online at crankforbank.com for only $110 for 13 weeks of fishing. It's Crank for Bank 2023.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Bucks Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bucks Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bucksisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom, Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true, and the names have been changed because Brubaker Motors has sold to Sons Automotive. You heard right. Brubaker Kia is now Sons Kia of Montgomery. Furthermore, Sons Automotive is a family business with dealerships throughout the Southeast. The name Sons Automotive is synonymous with trust, and they care about the communities they're a part of. They're excited to serve the River region, and in the interest of justice, you will be served a sentence of big savings. Sons Kia of Montgomery, family owned, family driven.
Welcome back, everyone. Final segment here on the Auburn Blitz. Again, thanks to Jason Caldwell with Inside the Auburn Tigers. Been on our program every Friday, some great insight. He likes our chances at Vanderbilt if we play, and he likes our chances coming down the stretch. I mean, he's right. You know, close loss on the road to Texas A&M, had to lead most of the game. They came back, got in a rock fight with Tennessee. Just couldn't hit a shot. Alabama game was batting fourth. Had opportunities there, missed open shots. Hadn't played bad. Lost by 3 to West Virginia. Dug ourselves a hole. 15 points in the first half. Had to fight back. If this team comes out to blocks and plays 40 minutes of basketball, Randy, they're going to be in most every game.
We're competitive. I mean, it's not a team that I'm expecting to be a Final Four contender, but if they got in the NCAA tournament and
won a couple,
you told me they won a couple of games and made it to the Sweet 16, it has that feel of a team that could pull something like that off, or we could go on a snide and not score the basketball well and not even make the tournament. If you told me that, I wouldn't be. But I do feel like after that win the other night that we found some stuff that we needed to correct, and it was corrected, and we got Bruce Pearl as a head coach, and I trust him a lot more than anything I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, again, shows you his ability. I saw his wife post something on social media after the Alabama game where he was immediately breaking film down, had his charts out, watching the game on his laptop, and she said, nobody works harder than this guy here. And, he had them ready to play against a very good Missouri team, and not only did he have them ready to play, they came out and dominated a team and had 19 wins and was on a very big hot streak and just went to Tennessee and pulled off a win. And so this was a big win for Auburn. Maybe it propelled them. need to go to Vanderbilt tomorrow night and play well. Just need they're better than Vanderbilt. They need to come out. Again, it's tough on the road, but Auburn doesn't need to turn the basketball over. They need to be able to get good production out of Janai Broome. If that's Dylan Cardwell being on the floor with him to help, so be it. And somebody, KD, Wendell, and, of course, either Jalen or Alan Flanagan or both got to play well. I mean, and we got to have that almost every night to have a chance.
But you like the rotation. You like
Right.
a few of the change-ups, and that grouping out on the court gives Auburn the best chance. And so I'm looking forward to being over there. I've never been to a Vandy game, so it should be fun. It used to be one of those venues you didn't want to go play in, Brett.
No.
When we were growing up in the
that's
80s and 90s,
Well, we didn't win. We
2000s,
never won
those were
anyway.
always venues. That was a venue that Auburn very seldom went over and won in.
Right. Auburn women's picks up another win over Texas A&M, 65-55. You know, this team's a roller coaster. They play well one night, play terrible the next. I think Johnny Harris is trying to establish some type of consistency. Hey, look, this is better than we've been in a long time.
yeah.
And, you know, you look at it from a standpoint of 4-9 in the SEC. We've doubled last season's total. I know that's not very good, but it's progress. And, you know, Auburn is 14-11 overall, and I know Texas A&M wasn't very good themselves, but, you know, this was a team last year that would have just probably rolled over and gotten beat by a bad team. So you got to start by beating the teams you're supposed to beat, and then you kind of progress from there. And I think, again, we'll see what Johnny Harris is able to do, and it's just our second year at Auburn, and I know that Bruce Pearl really thinks highly of her and her work ethic and what she does. She comes from a great background over at Mississippi State, was the first assistant off the bench there. So we'll see if they can continue to improve, you know, on the women's side. Randy, we'll dive over and we'll talk about on this day. We always have a little bit of fun to close out the show. But real quick before we do that, SEC swimming and diving, I did want to mention that tournament day 3. Auburn men fell back a spot. They were in second yesterday, but after 3 days, after 2 days, they fall back to third. Florida's going to win it. They're running away with it, but Auburn's sitting there in third in the men's. Women moved up a spot from 9 to 8, flipping over at Texas A&M. They're sitting there with 326 points. Florida's women probably going to run away with it as well. But, hey, look, just glad to see that we're even talking about swimming and diving again at Auburn.
Well, especially on the men's side where we won a lot of championships, and to put a team that's, you know, in the mix, they got a really good chance to get back in that second spot and finish runner-up here in the SEC. So it was one that we expected to win, and we did a lot when you and I were coming
David
up.
Morris
so
was one of the best.
That'll get back. So I'll kick it over on this day. The first name, Wally Pipp.
Yep.
Who all knows Wally Pipp out there?
Yeah,
I'm saying many of you. I see that name and knew exactly who he was and exactly what he did. He sat out. Lou Gehrig came in and played.
Never got back in the game. Never came back.
So it's still the old saying, you know, you fight through an injury. If it's an injury, a true injury, then you sit out. But if it's just some little nagging thing, you better find your way in there, or you may be Wally Pipped, is what.
That's right, because there may be a Lou
said.
Gehrig sitting behind you.
That's right.
That's a good deal there. But yeah, Wally Pipp, born on this day in 1893. So going back to 1893 there. Red Barber, 1908, born this day. Very good baseball broadcaster.
From the state of Alabama.
That's exactly right. We talked about that the other day, I believe. Buddy Ryan, big-time NFL coach, really known for his stint there with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Also known as the defensive coordinator alongside Mike Ditka for the best football team
85 Bears.
that I think that ever played, especially on the defensive side, the 85 Bears.
85 Bears, no doubt. Buddy Ryan, born on this day, 1931, the best running back, I guess, in the NFL. They just named the best running back of the year award after Jim Brown in the NFL this past year. So born on this day, 1936. Rick Majerus, born on this day, 1948. You remember big Rick Majerus?
I do remember him well. He had a team there at Utah that made the Final Four maybe a couple of years.
Pete Van Horn?
Yeah.
Van Horn? I don't think it was
Keith Van Horn.
Keith Van Horn.
And then they had, you know, a little guard that was young that year that led them, and I think they may have made it back again when he was like a senior. So
Happy birthday to the GOAT, Michael Jordan, born on this day in
60 years old. How old does that make you?
Oh, God.
Michael Jordan's 60.
That makes me smell the GOAT. Denise Richards, born on this day in 1971. I figured Andy put that one on here. Frank Sanders, one of the best wide receivers Auburn's ever had, 1973. And also another one for Andy Paris Hilton, born on this day in 1981. Thank you very much. That's going to wrap it up for the Friday edition. Everybody stay warm out there. For Randy Lee, I'm Brett Bridges saying we've enjoyed it. We'll help you out. See you next time.